Hi there, welcome to Sunnyside Journals. I'm Catherine. I have a flip through today of a sweet little antique book that I have lovingly restored and refurbished into a junk journal recently. This little book is by Charles Dickens, and it's a child's history of England. Inside was volume 1 and volume 2 in one book. I have wrapped it in with ribbon and some tea-dyed seam binding, and I've also attached a little pin that has a couple of little powder blue, just little charms on it, just to look pretty. As you can see here, it was original. This is the original text block that was in the book, and it was falling apart. These pages just crack and break. This book had no publication date in it, but when I open it up, you'll see we do have a little bit of a hint of how old this book is. So what I can tell you is it is 4¼ inches by 6 inches by one and a little tiny bit, maybe 1 1/8 inch thick. I restored the spine, which was falling apart, and then I put 5 signatures into it and did a hidden hollow back spine in it. I'm really happy with how this book turned out. It's so pretty, and originally I had the intention of simply making it a naked or nearly naked journal, and then it just got away from me. It was so pretty, and I was just enjoying it so much. So there are actually now quite a few journaling cards and little things in it that make it more fun to write notes to yourself in it. So as you can see here on the inside, I have added end papers that are from a book of wrapping paper that I have from the Victoria and Albert Museum. So these are this is a reprint of a Victorian print. And then I made tuck spots using the same ribbon that is here, and I added a bit of lace over top, and you can tuck whatever you like in there. I've added a little embossed vintage note paper and envelope in a similar shade of that dusty blue that seems to be, come on, in you go, there we go, that matches the blue flowers on the cover and on the spine. So as you can see here, this was my way of including how approximately old this book is. This is the original dedication that was inside the front of the book, and it says, "Presented to Harry Young from his Sunday school teacher, Sister Seton, July 9th, 1899. And sure enough, I looked up online, and July the 9th, 1899 was a Sunday, so he probably really was given this book during his Sunday school class by his teacher. When we turn the page here, you'll notice there's lots of tea-dyed paper that I've used in this book. There's lots of journaling space in this book. This is a vintage sticker from the 1940s that I've put in here, and lots of laces along the edges. Most are vintage. There is one lace that is antique in this book. There's 100 pages of varying sizes in this book. So again, lots of room for you to make it your own. Here's a page out of a Sears Roebuck catalog. This is a reprint. It's not the real deal. I have a feeling that the real one would fall apart by now, but it is a reprint from a Sears Roebuck catalog. Journaling paper, tea-dyed. Here's a journaling card that I created out of, this is from volume 2 within the book, and it's chapter 1. And I put a little fellow on the front who I keep calling him Winston. He looks like Winston Churchill to me. There's room on the back for you to journal. All the edges of the papers throughout, you'll notice, are torn edge. I thought that gave it a nice look. And it's a treat to do that once in a while as a bookmaker. A little flip out here. A little fussy cut from a book with Victorian prints in it. Here's a pocket that I made from some vintage wallpaper. I added a little fussy cut snail. I thought he looked very handsome. And then I made another journaling tag out of chapter 1 of volume 1 of the Child's History of England. So these pages are actually out of the book. And then I added a little detailing there. Hold on and let me pull that in. There we go. And then there's room on the back to journal. There's a eyelet and some gold string. Everything in this book is from repurposed sources except for the glue and the thread, and if there's a little bit of washi tape in the book, that is also new. Otherwise, I have various places that I hunt down beautiful old things, and I rescue them and give them new life, and give this book new life. All the papers, all the ribbons, all the laces, all the music paper. Another journaling card made from a page out of the book with a photo of a family get-together. And there's room on the back for journaling. Fussy cut flower. This is leftover pages out of, I think, 2 years ago. I had leftover pages in my Leuchtturm bullet journal book, so you'll notice the familiar polka dots on that paper, and then the little page number at the bottom. I like starting a new book in January, whether I need it or not. Some of these are coffee stained, some of these are tea stained, and in this case, that is I donated some of my red wine to the cause. Here's a little tuck spot down here that I've put in some more journaling papers. A little journaling space with a fussy cut out of a children's book and the label from some vintage ribbon. Another tuck spot here with lace and some little flowers, fussy cut. Some tea-dyed note paper while you were out. And then, as ever, I always include one of my trademark 2 Nana bookmarks, always go into a Sunnyside journal. That's my mother, and that's her mother. So I just call them the 2 Nanas, because they're both known by Nana. Nana Brown and Nana Hodgins. Here's another card that I made from one of the pages out of the book. So this one was the first page of volume 1 within the book. And then there's room to journal on the back. I'm just going to tuck it there for now and not put it. There's a rusty paper clip here with a bit of lace and a bit of embroidery thread that is the same color as the lace, the ribbons that have been used in the book. More Leuchtturm bullet paper. Vintage children's printing tablet to learn how to print. Little fussy cut pansy. This is from I found some file folders that were flowery and pretty, like Victorian flowers on it. And I used some of them for another journal that I put together, and this was left over, and I thought I need to use that. So I put a little word snippet on the tab, and then I made a pocket and just put a little tag in there that can be journaled on. I left it blank for you. And then on the back, I added some paper for journaling on, and then there's a little word snippet out of Charlotte's Web. I made a clip here. This is my first time doing one of these, and I really like how it turned out, and I will do it again. I initially started off making a lace cluster that I was going to attach to the page, and then I thought, gee, I'd really like the new owner to be able to just use this wherever they like. So I made the cluster with the buttons, and then I sewed it to this part of it, and then I covered up the back with a bit more lace. And I'm really, really happy with how that turned out. And it can just go anywhere you want in the book, and it can hold anything you like. So I'm just going to put that there for now. This is from a guest book. Scorecard from a children's game. More lace, as you can see. I made a little bulb pin charm here with a little bird on it. Oh, sorry, a little bird. And then there's also a little tag here, and it has a little dragonfly on it. Hold on, there we go. This is from one of my favorite gardening books that I have from the 1940s. A little hummingbird. I love how the red wine, the stains that the red wine leaves. It's really, really pretty. Another rusty paper clip with some tea-dyed seam binding up here, and just a little piece of vintage paper from, I don't know, found on one of my thrifting escapades. This is from a book, I fussy cut it. It's some, I forget the official name of them. My family just always called them thunder mugs. You know, it goes under the bed, and if you've got to go in the nighttime, you use it. Lots of uneven pages, which I love. I think it gives the eye variety and hopefully inspires the writer to just maybe write a little memory here. Devote it just to that little memory. Another page out of the Sears Roebuck catalog. Peter Rabbit getting into trouble. A stamp. I was playing with a new stamp that I got, so a little bird and a little word snippet to go with him. Flip out. A little Victorian fussy cut, and it's also a tuck spot, so I put a few little journaling papers in there. This is actually from a wedding place card kit that I found on one of my thrifting adventures. Lots of sewing for the laces on the edges. Oh, you open up. Oh, you want to stay down. Hold on. There we go. Let go. I closed this up too soon. There we go. So he was trying to hide. There's a little frog on a rock in a pond down there. Oh, there we go. I love the character that every single page of tea and coffee dyed paper is unique. This is a note that the owner of this book obviously wrote to themselves about learning music. So I turned it into a journaling card, and there's room on the back also to journal on. some onion skin paper. This is a page out of a flower book with pansies. I love this really pale blue lace, and that's all I had. It got devoted to this book. Here's another little pocket that I made from this vintage wallpaper, and I put, since it's a child's history of England, I put this sweet little child here, a bit of lace, and then I tucked in a few things, some tea-dyed papers to journal on, and then another, an index card that has another thunder mug on it. Over here is the last of the tags that I made. I made it out of the final page of the book, and because Dickens' last words were "God Save the Queen," and Queen Victoria is mentioned in there, Queen Victoria, I found a lovely picture of Miss Vicky and made a little collage here, and that I put that there. You can put it wherever you like, and there's room on the back again for journaling. So that is A Child's History of England by Charles Dickens and Sunnyside Journals. Thank you for taking time to watch through this flip through. I hope you enjoyed it. I will be listing this sweet little book in my Etsy shop, and if you're interested in it, you can go over there and take a look. That would be wonderful. Thanks again for visiting, and we will talk soon. Bye.